Refreshing live stream. There. Nope. Wait. All right. Well, let's try doing stuff anyway. Chat might just be down for today. Who knows? Hey guys, we're creating some artwork for an Eberron adventure today. Give me a second here to check my signal, see if we're coming through okay, and then we'll get to work. So checking in, mic check, mic check, and then we'll get to work. 3. So checking in, mic check, mic check. And then we'll that was pretty good. Let me drop that volume down there. I'm gonna try this again. Oh, good. There we go. Nice. Okay, cool, great. So everything is on track. I'm going to grab a link here and do some really fast social media updates, and then we'll get to work on today's art. We finished the bag of crystals and map illustration yesterday, so we're going to start in on something new today. Click, and then click, and then click, and we're done. All right, cool. So social media posts are done. Let me blop, 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 get that stuff out of the way. Real quick summary. If you think today's artwork is fun, you like the ideas that are played with, like. So, hey, we have new subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here's a bunch of books I've already created on the DMsGuild. I create, illustrate, and publish books for D&D 5e on DMsGuild, so check out some of that stuff here. Here's our full playlist. And without further ado, I guess let's just get started. So, book cover made around episode 40. You can check that out. The 16:9 format is the digital spread. So if you're on a full screen with your device watching this video, and you will see that this page fills your entire space, and each of the individual columns are also a 16:9 format. So when you tilt your phone up this way, with once the PDF is built, you tilt your phone up this way, you can look at each column individually, or you can tilt it this way and look at one page at a time. It's a 12-point font body text, so it's real easy to have eyes on what's going on. Hold on, I'll show you. We finished the, let's get down. There, so we finished this last night. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And let's see. Yeah. So we'll get that out of the way. We have a teleportation circle with rune stones to place in this gap here. And so that seems pretty easy. So I decided to instead do an illustration for the bonus resources and Rahid, your handler. Bonus resources: the characters are provided with the following items: 6 rune crystals encoded with sigil with the sigil sequence for the disabled teleportation circle, a sending stone for the characters to contact Rahid when the circle is active again, a description of Solzu, Amond, and Juliet, who the risk management team will detain if they're alive. And the characters receive the benefits of the plane shift spell, delivering them to the research facility. So we need 6 crystals, 3 character illustrations, and the sending stone. So those are the items that we need to build. But for now, I want to work on Rahid's portrait. And so I think I want to... Right, center, cool. We're just gonna leave the right as it is. I think I want to resize Rahid. He seems to be filling the space a little bit too much. It's crowding the text. So I think I'm gonna drop that to there. I want to make a little environment around him so he's not just a floating head. Because if it was just like this, it seems a little void, you know, kind of like I'm just plugging in some stock art and there you go. I mean, it is stock art that I created. It's technically not stock art because I made it, but it could be something I made available to other people. But I wanted to take the idea of some sort of a room or something, so I'm gonna play with that idea for a little bit here. Let's see, I want to do something. Oh, I don't know. Let's just do something. Let's not worry too much about it. I only got about an hour today anyway, so It's not like I have to think that hard about what's going on. Let's fade this down a lot. Feeling like a chair might be a good idea. I'm not feeling particularly anxious about that space. So like that-ish. Frame here, and then maybe we'll do some cityscape stuff here in the background. Did we just lock up? Let's try that again. There we go. What the fuck is going on? Oh, right. Wrong layer. There you go, Kearney. Apparently my brain's frazzled. Maybe this dude's in Sharn. And we can have some floating towers and stuff in the background. And he's in some sort of posh office. Kind of like that. Yeah, I think that feels good. All right. Well, it looks like let's we have a plan. So I guess I'll start executing the plan. Let's go with here. Let's go with overcast city scape. I kind of like that one. All right, we're going to build it from the back up. So we've got our overcast sky that we're interested in using. Let's take the text and drop it to the back. There we go. Just getting in some loose sky for the window in the background. Boy, this still feels just a little bit too crowded. Just a smidge more. There. Now that's starting to feel a little spacey. Spacious. Let's grab that. Oh, I can feel myself going very deep into this one. There's 5 plot hooks like this that require additional illustrations, and so much of the book is just hold on, get rid of that. So much of the book is just maps and tokens and stuff. There's not a lot of actual illustration going on inside of the book. This back section is an opportunity for us to add some more Eberron-ish flavor to stuff in general. So I want to take the opportunity to do so. Yeah, the front of the book has some flavor illustrations. The back of the book has a lot of flavor illustrations. And the actual body of the adventure itself is mostly technical, detailed information. Maps, tokens, diagrams. Not a lot of frilly space open for just random illustrations. But the maps are full color. so it hardly feels empty. Just working some color into the canvas. There we go. Well, my belly says talking today. Murr. Let's make a separate layer here. That feels pretty good. I like that. And just blend across here. Let's blend this in, and then we'll put another layer another layer of clouds over this. It feels pretty good. Let's keep blending this in. That feels pretty good too. Nice. Actually, I think I can merge those down. And then work this riff over here. Oh, that feels good. Now another layer. I want to drop in some darker shadow effect in across here. bouncy like that. Bring that down into here. Nice. I like these little clashy contrast points in here with a little bit of color pops through. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. I like that. So we'll blend this in here to keep that little ribbon. Blend, 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 blend. There we go. Here to rough this up a little bit so it's not so perfect. There, oh, that's fun. There we go. This is a lot of me muttering to myself today, I guess. Maybe I should take another injection of coffee. Keep yourself alive. Leave that like that. Fluff up this front here. And then just blend in, blend, 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 blend down. I feel like I can merge these two down and put in another layer. Let's grab there. That feels good. Nice. That's got some. I like that. I like how these fades are interacting with each other. These gradients. They're making this. It feels good. It just feels good. The darkness in these clouds feel heavy, and that's what we want. So these neat little ridge effects. See, we've got a dark here that's fading into a lighter gradient. It's mild, but it goes dark and then comes lighter as we rise in the piece. And then the layer we have over it is a layer of darkness that cuts into that fading effect a little bit. So it looks like it has that rolling, like tumultuous cloud rolling over each other, like a cauldron. You know, as stormy skies will do. And then I want to blend it all into the same mass. as we move further away. So we got a really cool little storm front rolling through here. That feels really, really good. Let's take another ribbon here and push it down. To here. And then we'll be able to put some skyscape in behind it. Cityscape. There. That's a really good point. Interest. There. And then we can blend that in. Good. And now I'm going to take these 3 layers and I'm going to blend them all into each other. Merge down. And then merge down again. And now we can just work. Using a lower opacity, I just switched the opacity down to 20%, or the strength of the smudge brush, so it's far more of a blending tool now than a pushing tool. So as I sweep back and forth horizontally across the canvas, it starts to just homogenize and blend the pixels that we're hitting. So we're leaving all of this, like up here, I want to blend this a little bit. But like where all these points in here, all this roughness and dichotomy, I want to leave that. I want to leave that strong. It's the large bank of blot that I want to blend in, so that feels more like a natural. So it has a natural smoothness to it. Feels more like cloud. You can't rough up. You can't have a real rough texture with clouds. You can have hard lines and borders defining the shapes of your clouds and your banks, but you don't want them rough. You want them smooth and billowy. Now I can push up the strength to 50% to push these pixels further down the page. See how much of a difference the 50% smudge strength makes compared to dropping back down to a 20%. Now it just blends. It doesn't push. It barely pushes pixels at all. It just smudges them in and blends them together. So you want to understand when you're using the tool. I use Photoshop specifically, but whatever digital painting program you choose is you want to understand. You want to understand how the tools work. And once you understand just the fundamentals of like what does increasing the strength of this do? How does increasing the size of the brush affect the smudging that I'm doing in comparison to the size of the canvas in total? Once you start getting a better feel for how these things interact with each other, it improves your craft. Like, you can't just assume that you're going to be great with your digital tools when you use them right away. You really have to get good at using the tools. Like, if you can't hit a hammer, if you can't hit a nail with a hammer, how are you going to be you're not going to be that much of a carpenter until you acquire the skills to use your tools proficiently. The compositions that you envision, the type of art that you want to express, you aren't going to be able to accomplish it because you don't have the technical skill set to actually make the paint do what you want the paint to do to get the end result that you want. And that's just time. That just comes with time. I'm going to drop the opacity back down to, what, 20? Good. And we can blend. The opacity strength is up here at the top margin on the toolbar. And I use the number row on my keyboard, 1 to 10, is 10% to 100%. I gotta blend that, so I gotta up the strength to 50% to push the pixels into the canvas. And once you get above 30% on these smudge brushes, it changes from below 30% it's blending, above 30% and it's pushing. So I just dropped back down to 20% so I could blend in this gradient. And again, we were just talking, we don't want you can have some wisps, but you don't want rough. You don't want your lines to, like, clouds don't look right if there's too much like rough texture. So you want to be mindful about making them smooth, but not just making them a line. It's a delicate balance with clouds. They can be cantankerous. There we go. That feels pretty good. Blend, blend, blend. I'm going to up the size of the brush so I can blend a larger area so it's a smoother gradient. The larger your brush, the smoother the gradient is going to be because you're softening the pixels across a larger block of area at the same time. Just naturally blends. That's just what blending is. And apparently I've accidentally tapped my tool and switched the brush to a square. There, nice and soft. That feels really, really good in there. I like that. I like how this blend is happening here. That's really cool. I don't preconceive anything. I just start dropping color onto the canvas and blend it together. And after you do enough skies, you just kind of have a feel for, like, this would look cool. Like, this composition looks neat. You don't really think about it nearly as much. You just do it. And it falls into place. And I'm hyper extending this into the text, knowing that it's going to get covered in a masking layer to disappear it. But I want to overextend it so I'm not limited to the frame of the, like, we have an illustration here and then we're having a more technical illustration over here. I might actually push these bonus resources down and then put the resources here in the middle between the adventure goals and the bonus resources section. Because it's just basically a list of, it's just basically item illustrations that will be dropping in over there. So I can make the brush smaller with a higher intense strength to be able to get that billowiness going on inside of here. There. That feels pretty good. Nice, so it's back to a, oops. Expand my brush and soften it so it blends again. Blend, blend, blend. There we go. For the most part, I work horizontally. I sweep back and forth horizontally, but it's not perfect. It's not like I'm holding on the shift key to make it 100% level, like perfectly level, like true level. I'm letting it have just some organic variance as I wibble back and forth. I'm going to have a little bit of waver in my line, and that helps pull pixels from above and pixels from below into that same space, and which helps blend. And I got to be careful about having too many absolute vertical lines inside here, because this cloud space overall is decidedly tilted. So I want to blend the pixels, and God, look at that. It just feels like there's light trying to creep through. It just feels good. So we'll finish up this these clouds here in a moment, and then we'll start dropping in towers for Sharn. But yeah, I want a real smooth gradient, like a swirly sort of gradient, so it feels like it's not a plane that's sliding. It's a mass of clouds that's rolling, you know? Hopefully that's coming across. Thank you, Timely Timer. That feels really good. I'm just going to increase the size of the brush so I can be a little bit more aggressive about this gradient further down the page. This is zoomed out really far, so I won't be able to tell if there's any flaws in my pixel work until I zoom back in again. But this is a good base gray tone that I can start putting buildings in. It should backdrop them and frame really well. So almost there. Let's just stay on target, push this stuff down. Blend, blend, blend. Yeah, blend, blend, blend. Larger brush cover. I can't increase the strength because it'll pull the pixels more than I want. So I want to increase the size instead, so I can cover more area. I can either cover area by increasing the strength of the smudge brush and pushing pixels further faster into the empty space, or I can increase the size of the gradient brush and let it gently fade its way into the environment, into the space that I want the pixels to flow. And by using the larger brush, it's more gentle. It's a much, see that? It's just a very gentle, smooth gradient. Let's just pad that all out. It feels really good. I really like that. That feels really, really good. Okay, so let's add in some cityscape. Feels very good. Sketch is good. Let's go with let's go city. You know what? Let's see what we can find. Sharn. Well, that's a good reference image, don't you think? lot of diversity in the colors here. I think I'm seeing a purple theme. Since I don't see any color, I'm reliant on the RGB slider up here in the corner to be my color vision for me. You know what? I shouldn't have closed that. Let me open that up again. Reopen that. Let's not rely on just one image. Let's grab another one, just to be smart. And maybe a third. Maybe we can get a darker piece because it is overcast sky. I don't want to have too much sun. This one feels pretty good. That one feels good. Hold on. Let's grab this one. That's stock footage that's available on the DMsGuild, by the way. I could just grab this and steal it, but the perspective's all wrong, so it wouldn't work. This looks interesting, though. I think this is probably going to be a good one to use. So let's we'll stitch this up. This is predominantly red all throughout here. You can see on the RGB slider. I bet that's going to be a really good contrast to the blue sky that we're using. There's that. Let's look at, what is this one doing? This has got some purpley going on. It's got that red slide to it. There's that roughly purplishness going on inside here again. How about you? It's got that reddish material look to it. I like that. Purpley? Nope, it's maintaining this reddishness. That's good. So we'll use this. We'll use this as our base color here. But let's look at this one real quick. Oh yeah, this is the original one that we're looking at. I don't think I need that one. I think that one and this one. No wait. That one and this one. I think these are the two best. And we're going to go with this darkish red here for now. Awesome. Okay. I feel like I'm getting a groove. I'm just going to start off with some rough shapes. Like having a floating spire here is just gonna just lock in that this is Sharn. And I want some of these spires high enough to be breaking this cloud line here. But if I make the buildings dark, they'll blend into the clouds a little bit. I mean, the color is going to make it pop out, but having the same rough grayscale, like the same value of this, contrasting to this, like see how See how the in the RGB slider in the upper right hand corner, you can see how the red is dominant, blue is receding, and we flip it, blue is dominant and red is receding, but it's very mild. It's very, very desaturated, and we want to keep that. And as we move forward in the piece, like over here, we still have a low saturation in the sky, but this this tone here is starting to jump out more because it has more of a value. Like this is like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being white, 0 being black. This is like a 3 and this is like a 7, as opposed to over here it's like a 3, it's like a 3 and a 4, right? It's a much closer dichotomy. Spire here. Let's conceal the sky for a moment. I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to make a little lump over here. Let's get our heat out of the way. There, and then we go select inverse. And then I can merge that down. Erase away at some of that base there. Do another gradient effect so that we have the underlighting of all the city lamps and light pushing up into the sky. So we have this gradient that we're doing to indicate that there's a stronger light source downward than there is upward. It should make a neat effect. Where's this 40? Wow, we're at 70%. That's a lot of pixel push. Let's drop it down to 40, so we can start blending the gradient in. I'm gonna take a little bit of time here just to blend this well. And then we'll be paying attention to the silhouettes of the spires specifically. Bring this all in. That's a decent start. Blending this like crazy. 20%, dropping it down so it's far more of a softening smudge than pushing pixels. Just like before when we were doing the clouds. And we're just working. We're working the canvas back and forth, just trying to work this line art, this color into the canvas at the base where it fades out. Broad strokes here to get a really easy blend. I'm going to increase the size of the brush so I can just start really just working this into the canvas. I don't want to do a digital gradient. It'd be fast and easy, sure, but this is important for me to, like, sometimes doing these manual efforts helps connect me to the actual illustration. Like as I drill through this, I can feel the pixels pushing inside of the digital canvas. It feels weird because it's not actual. It's not an actual tactile experience. It's a meta-tactile thing. Like it's an imagined connection. I know, but the response of the actions that I'm taking with the results that I see on the screen. It tricks me into feeling. It tricks me into feeling a resistance that isn't actually there. I've developed my skill set to the point where I can feel the. Hold on, I want to push this over a little bit. Good. Watching the pixels creates a what's the word? A false feedback loop in my brain to make me feel like. I'm sensing tactilely what's going on with my brush as a result of what I see the ink doing, the color doing on the screen. It's not a real sensory input. It's a hack, basically. It's not a real sensory input. Blend that in real smooth, like. Push this all down and smooth it in. Push it all down and smooth it in. Probably about where I need it to be. Feels pretty good. It's a pretty smooth gradient. Good. Good. All right, I can stop being a perfectionist now. Let's actually cut this out. Paste. All right, so now the horizon line is a separate layer from the gradient underneath it, so I can work the skyline independently without having to worry about damaging it. So let's go in, and yeah, I can still see some artifacts here. So I'm gonna have to work in and blend the clouds a little bit better, but this is a good start. I can nitpick later. Jeez, 7:38 already. Yeah, this is decidedly a short session today, but that's okay. Here, actually, let's grab our square block. And we can make this more organic later. Yeah, we'll start here. That. Right now we're just locking down shapes, and we can go back in and we can detail them more. Just getting a lay of the land. And we can get more and more exotic as we go along. But right now, again, we're just trying to establish some basic shapes to give us something to build on top of. There's tension in my body. I tighten up when I'm doing architecture and straight line work, because I'm more of an organic, loose shapes like the clouds. That's far more spiritually aligned with how I do art, but it doesn't help architecture at all. Hey, look, we're doing more architecture. We said we were going to do that, and we did. When we start illustrating the Bashing campaign book, I suspect we're going to see a lot of architecture in that book. I'm looking forward to it, but it's also intimidating. Architecture is by far my weakest skill set in illustration currently. So naturally, I want to do artwork and build books that like really dive into that. Of course, I do. I have an almost instinctive an instinctive drive to seek out content that's difficult for me to produce and attempt to succeed at it. It's like, this is like designing an adventure was a far larger challenge than I envisioned that it would have been 3 years ago. But here we are, still playing with it. What a fucking nightmare. Let's blend. blend, blend, blend that in, blend to win. Some fun little shapes inside here. But they have to be intentional. This is a neat little architectural shape. I like it, and I want to preserve it. But it can't be like organic. It has to be. It has to have angles and precision. It's a massive effort to build a tower like this. It's not the same as making a mountain. It has to be intentional. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. It has to be intentional. Like maybe having a curve here will make sense, but it has to be a pretty intentional. You know, it can't just be a random curved line. It has to be something that's part of some sort of an intention. I'm sure I'm saying intention a lot. There we go. Nah. I like this curve. We'll probably do it. We'll probably use a circle tool to come through and clean up these curves. Here. Curve here is okay. I'm gonna flatten that out. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's see. Oh, my day is almost, my morning is almost done. Okay, so we do artwork like this Monday through Friday in the morning, and then we do we do game design, like the books that we eventually. So I design and illustrate my books. So I have to create a new book that needs illustrations for me to do artwork for. So on Monday through Friday in the morning, we do the artwork for the books that we're working on, and then on Monday night and Thursday night, like last night, and Tuesday and Friday at lunch, like today, we do actual game design. And we've been working on the 5e24 Bastion system to turn it into a Bastion campaign system to create adventures and plots through the orders that you issue to your hirelings in the Bastions. And so we're going to continue. We've been working on rebuilding the facilities to utilize the ability check system that we've implemented for the Bastions, and we should be finishing that up and starting in on like the orders that are issued. We should be working on that today. And that'll be probably around 2:30 Seattle time, which is Pacific time zone, which is -8 UTC. So that roughly translates into 6.5 hours from now. I'll be back on for an hour to do some lunchtime design. That. The fun thing about Sharn is that it's in a Sylvanas Manifest zone, which is the plane of endless sky. And the magic of the Manifest zone is that things float. So, like, literally an island is floating. If the Manifest zone ever collapsed, these towers would just fall from the sky. There. Yeah, good enough for now. Another one. I feel like I like this empty space over here, so I'm hesitant to put a floating tower in over there. Organic rock. The skyline could be more packed, but I think for the intent of the project, that's probably sufficient. So let's drop that out and fold in the city for the time being. We have a few minutes left, so let's come back in here and resolve some of this rough line work. Dropping to a really low 20% smooth gradient to help work this. Push it to 30. 30 feels right. Dirty 30. There we go. And we are damn near done with our time this morning. I had a little bit of a late start, so this is a shorter session than what I like, but I like where we're going. I'll be honest with you, I was intimidated by this piece when I first looked at it, but it's shaping up really, really nicely. There. And since we're so drastically overshooting the boundaries of what the actual space is, we'll be able to resize this and reposition parallax style. Reposition the sky, the buildings, the window frames, and Rahid's position on the page to maximize the rule of thirds and page framing once we put our masking frames in place to block it off from the text. But I think I'm done here. So you're right. So in about 6.5 hours, we're going to be back on. We're going to work on finishing up the facilities for the Bastion campaign supplements, and we'll be furthermore on Monday when we come back in. We're going to continue working on this painting in the morning, and I have Monday off work. I'm taking a vacation day to do some doctor stuff in the afternoon, but that also means that I can have an extended morning session. I typically run for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the morning when I take the day off, and then I do what it is that Phils need to do when they took the day off. And then I'll be back on Monday night to continue working on orders and downtime activities for the Bastion campaign. But I might have an opportunity to jump on for a lunch stream to work on something random. I don't know. I could just reclaim that time and be off screen working on monsters and stuff, depending on where I end this weekend. I'll have a chance to work on stuff this weekend, but I don't stream on the weekend. Oh, yeah, I think that looks really fucking cool. We're super short on time, so I'm going to have to leave this here. But yeah, I'm now very much falling in love with this piece, and I am very much looking forward to working on it more. I will hold off, and I'll hold off until Monday to work on this some more, because I want to spend. I'll probably spend. I don't want to spend a week on it, but I'll probably spend four days on it. I definitely want to, get it published as soon as possible. But I also really just love doing art. I really just love working on this project. So it's frustrating at times, and I get lost in the business side of it, of wanting to get this done so I can move on to the next piece. But there's always going to be another piece. There'll always be another adventure I want to do, or another supplement I want to make, or whatever. It's just an endless stream of, you could do this because I can do it. And because I can do it, I just want to keep doing it and doing it and doing it again. And So I need to be less worried about how many books I create, but how much fun I have creating them. That's the important part. How much satisfaction do I get from the effort? And did I give it my all? Did I protect myself from cutting corners? That's where I'm at right now. Eyeballing, cutting corners. Like, do I want to cut corners to get this thing done faster? It's like, well, it's already been so long. Why do you want to cheat yourself at this point? But there's also the fatigue issue. Anyway, that's it. I am done for the time being. I am loving this piece. So when we come back, we'll be back on Monday to continue working on this. We'll be back in 6.5 hours to work on the Bastion campaign. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Get notifications when I'm live. It's 9 times per week I do stuff. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot.